Oh, really? You broke up there for a minute?
No, we didn't.
I didn't know that. Your brother was wild.
That was for a while too.
You were? Him and Timmy used to get in trouble all the time.
God, I can tell you some things after the achievement board meeting.
In Scripture? Or no, something else?
Back to Timmy did a lot of chasing. One time I went in, I asked one. I haven't drank in 48 years. I was like beer and I drink that. It's not alcohol. It's what I have to understand. Like this business works like a administration. What else going on? Maybe it's the heat on it, but anyway, I had 2 last night, but normally, 6 pack of last night, not at home. No. In 1980. 39 years. This guy coming in on the character. My wife taught him. What is North Africa? He's pretty old, ain't she?
What did I tell you that
Yeah. I'm 74. She's 76. We have 60s.
Oh. I was gonna say, they added more and I didn't see him.
68. Turned 68. Jim was 69.
I thought maybe they just added a bunch more or something. Simple.
15 Bob was 15. They were 9 months apart.
Bob still have business?
I'll give you your space.
He's got, I got a couple pieces of property somewhere in our road. And it's got a couple of companies. That he hasn't got any, he's just got investment.
No, won't running. He's not running the bank. They still own that building down here with all the army recruiters in it?
No.
Him and Martell were in it. Him and Martell owned it.
Yeah, no, they got rid of that. They sold the place on Michigan Street. There was a restaurant there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You want that? You know, combine with that Rand's son is a part of Jim Rand's son. Bobby. He's got the, does a lot of work on the road construction stuff. R&R. This one's son earlier moved over.
Oh, wow.
Ollie said he was on his way.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the September 11th, 2019 meeting of the Area Board of Zoning Appeals of South Bend and St. Joseph County. I'd like to ask everyone here to please silence your cell phone or turn it off so we don't disrupt the meeting. If you need to use your phone at any time, you're free to step outside into the lobby. We are a 7-member board. There are 5 of us here today. We have a quorum. It takes 4 votes in favor or against to pass or deny a motion. If you feel you would like the full complement of 7, you may approach our secretary now and table your petition until next month. I do know for a fact there are supposed to be 6 of us here today, so perhaps another member will join us in a few minutes. The process for the hearing goes like this. First, our secretary will read the petition. As you hear your petition being read, please approach the podium. When you get to the podium, please give us your name and address. Anybody who's going to speak on your behalf needs to give us that information. This is being recorded into minutes. You can give us some background information about your project. Tell us anything you'd like. You have up to 10 minutes. We already have your application, so we are familiar with your petition, but if you'd like to add to it, you may do so. We may begin with some questions from the board or the staff. After that, I will open the session to the public and ask that first, if there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor of or ask questions about the petition, they may take their opportunity to speak at the podium. We limit people to 3 minutes apiece during that part. After that, I'll ask if there's anybody who wishes to speak in opposition. So if you want to speak in opposition, you have to wait and speak second. You will have 3 minutes to speak. After that, the public session is closed. We cannot address any shouts from the audience. You can't raise your hand or start to speak. Only during the public session at the podium can you give us any information. After that, if the petitioner will have up to 5 minutes to make any rebuttal to any of the comments that were made, we may ask some more questions, and then I will ask for a motion on the thing, and we will take a vote. At this time, I believe a petition has been withdrawn. I forgot which one. Number. Yeah, number 12 has been tabled. Right. Okay. And I'll note that. Do I need a motion on this petition number 2 being moved? Petitioner number 2 may be late and has asked if they could be moved to the end of the agenda, so I need a motion.
Make a motion to move Craig Castles to the end of the session.
All in favor? Aye. Pardon me, I think I forgot to ask for a roll call. Well, we now have everybody here, so we can do the roll. That was perfect.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Urbanski?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Here.
Ms. Shu?
Here.
Mr. Lashinsky?
Here.
And Mr. Collins?
Here. With that, can we have the reading of petition number 1, please?
The petition of Acquisition Group LLC seeking the following variances: 1, from the minimum required 25-foot of frontage on a public street to 0 foot. Number 2, from the minimum required side setback of 5 feet to 0 feet. And 3, from the minimum required front setback of 25 feet to 15 feet. Property located at west and adjacent to 6100 West End Parkway, Vernon Township, zone SF2 single family and 2 family district.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and my thanks to whoever it was that put me on the spot. My name is Brian McMorrow with Admiral Consultants, 750 Main Way East in South Bend, on behalf of Acquisition Group LLC. Acquisition Group is a landholding group led by Tim Firestone, who is the property manager, general manager of Blackstone Golf Club here. Earlier this year, we appeared before the Plan Commission and Common Council to have the property rezoned from LI and SF2. The project or the new neighborhood was always proposed as a new neighborhood with a private street. So the private cul-de-sac that you see on the plan was intended to be maintained privately by the same homeowners association around the Blackthorn. As the architectural plans have become more refined since earlier this year with the zoning and annexation, we made certain site plan refinements as well. Most of the homes are going to have access to their garages from the rear side. So we're going to have alleys or private drives on the back side so that the front yards aren't cluttered with cars right up to our garage door. Accordingly, we're asking for relief that our front yard setback be reduced from 25 feet to 15 feet along that private drive. And similarly, we're asking for approval to have zero lot line homes. The code would require us to have 5 foot on either side and put in between each home. The thought was that we would provide 0 foot side yard on one side, maybe have a clear 10 foot on the other side. The design was driven in large part by the topography. Those that are familiar with this first pole of Blackthorn know that the topography is rather undulating, and we try to cluster the homes around the high spots and the lower spots on the course. And again, clustering the homes closer to the street suits that purpose. I'll add that we've had some discussions with the city planning staff, especially in light of the new zoning code, which is being drafted. And what we're asking for is pretty similar or aligns with some of the requirements that have been made. So those are our comments. I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Questions?
Yeah, Brian, we don't have information on what is being proposed to be built here. Could you describe a little, these are attached duplexes?
The zoning was attached single family duplex home. And the thought was at the time that the duplexes might be further subdivided to each on a single lot. And as the architecture has evolved, we're now down to all single family homes. And multi-family.
But basically attached, the zero lot line is because they'll be more like
There'll still be 10
townhouses
feet
or,
between structures,
yeah,
just 0 foot on one side.
I see.
So basically it's a PUD.
Larry may argue with that.
Sorry?
Larry may argue with that, but, yeah, we're trying
Huh?
to, it's not
It's not.
technically,
Okay.
it fits, within the SF2 zone in all respects, except for these 3 variances of parking cover.
What is the, it's an inch, but what's the corner road be on the left of that?
That's the
Bypass.
Okay.
And, there's a service road too, that on the north side is actually within the public right of way of Minch Parkway, and then kind of reverses across the Blackthorn property. It's a back door to the airport. I've learned over the years that when bypass came through and properties were being assembled, there would have been no road access or frontage on the lots, so this private way was provided. So there's an easement in place to benefit the airport.
Very well.
Back to.
Jordan, thank you for enlarging the maps.
Yeah, it is helpful. But back to zero lot line and then 10 feet on the other side of the property. What is the advantage of that to the owner rather than centering the new unit on the property?
Sure. When you're maintaining your home, placing a ladder, and also just to walk on the back, it's a little easier to have put on one side. There'll be easements built into the covenants and restrictions to give rights occupy that space temporarily.
Okay, because that argument totally falls short on the zero lot line side, so I'm not sure that
Well,
you're providing any advantage.
So less on the access, on the maintenance, but more on the access, that somebody can freely have foundation all that on one side. Rather than five.
Interesting. Okay.
Any other questions at this time?
Where's the alleys that you're talking about?
The site plan hasn't been submitted yet, but if we go back to the subdivision plan, they would, by May, in several locations, as we're gonna have a detention basin here, there would be an alley that would wrap around a handful of homes here, and then another, and that would happen in a couple of instances, throughout the subdivision.
Shows on this one.
So it's not in back of all of them, it's only on some of them.
Some of them, right.
Any other questions?
Yeah, what, if you look, which would be to it's the north, the east of it, that parking lot, what's that for? Huh?
It's the golf course.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Clubhouse is about.
Okay.
Long drive.
I'll open the session to the public at this time. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor of or ask questions about this petition, you may approach the podium. Seeing none, is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Further seeing none, public session is now closed. Are there any other questions, comments, or is there a motion?
I'll make a comment. I see no issue with reducing the front setback to 15 feet. The frontage on the public street makes, of course, all the sense regarding the site, but the side setbacks, it's just confusing to me. I don't see any true advantage to the owner, and in other places within the city, we're looking to avoid that condition unless it's an attached situation because of maintenance reasons, like we don't put garages, we don't put homes at a 0 lot line unless there's need to do that, and in this case, we're at a blank slate, so I don't feel like I'm in favor of that, but I also don't know if I'm missing anything, or if you want to respond to that in any way.
Again, it's commonly done, in other areas around the country, again, to provide a little more ownership on one side that's useful at a wider distance.
And I'm assuming to avoid having to replat the subdivision.
Right, we're carefully coordinating architectural design. That 0 lot line aspect gives us some flexibility to do that.
Are you hoping to do some attached housing?
Possibility does exist, of course, we are, have people to do that, the SF2 is drafted. The market suggests that maybe more duplexes are what is desirable.
So it does, if we approve the variance, it would allow for flexibility. I know that that's really kind of a common golf course development type thing, is to have, kind of 1 story or to have attached.
It is, initial plans for this neighborhood did have about a third of the units like that. Present time, though, maybe they're all attached. Your point is well taken, though, that reduction of 0 foot does give us the flexibility that, as well as their food choice.
Does 0% zero setback take into account eaves? It's at the eave line or is it at the building line?
You can have laterally supporting extensions, that's called.
Over the lot line?
Over the wall line, they can extend out.
Into the other person's property. If we went with a 0 lot line, it'd go into the other person's property.
Well, no, they shouldn't go on somebody else's property, but I'm just saying generally, you can have those extensions out a foot into the setback.
The lot line, the lot line should be where the eave, nothing
Drops
should go
down.
beyond that.
Right.
And that means stormwater, roof runoff, all that stuff should stay on your own property.
And I can tell you that the design that we're doing right now, we are setting about a foot off that property. For that very reason.
Staff, do you have, you didn't make any notes on this petition. Do you have maintenance concerns?
No, not really. Again, when the developer gets down to it, he's going to have to provide the necessary easements on the plat or on the deeds to ensure that those are protected from how close those units are. The technique of 0 setback is really not, it is for here, for this area. It's not an unusual development type as Brian mentioned around the country. So trying to think of a project that's done that here already. The only thing I can think of are the units in Lafayette Falls on the south side of town. They built some kind of row house looking type units, but they were detached, but I believe they were at 0 lot. And it's a technique where you have narrow lots, and Brian said you get more usable property when you have narrow lots, as opposed to having 3 or 4 foot of property on one side, which is really not usable for much of anything. So it's not unusual type of development, and you just have to protect yourself with easements. I'm not sure if that answered your question, but
Well, it does. I mean, what's not unusual versus what our zoning code currently allows is I think something that we're having to weigh as far as this is a practical difficulty, and trying to make an argument for, in some ways it is, you're trying to create a usable yard space.
I think the new zoning code that's being developed is going to take some of this into consideration too.
Okay.
More density, which is what everybody seems to be striving for.
Yeah.
Is there any fire concerns because of the houses being so close? Meaning they gotta put in special exterior walls for like a fire break?
Those would be between buildings, so it's not relative to the property line, it's relative to the space of the building.
Well, yeah, but if you have a 0 lot line, there's nothing that says you couldn't put them both at 0 together.
Well, then in that case, at the building permit stage, then they would have to obviously build fire, whatever the fire code says.
Right.
And to be clear, and that needs to be written into the approval by contractor, we're still looking to provide clean buildings.
Right.
If it is a multi, talk about that, but still.
All right, I have a question. Early on, it appeared like you had some concern when I brought up the subject, but is there any concern that you have about this project?
No, I'm not recall what
Okay.
we were talking about earlier. So, no, we don't have any concern, otherwise we would have mentioned it in the staff report.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve as presented. Yeah.
I'm satisfied
we
with
have-
the argument, so second.
We had public hearing.
I did.
No,
Oh,
Yeah.
you did? Sorry, nobody, I was sleeping.
no, what'd you say to me on the elevator?
We have a motion and a second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Yossi, and seconded by Mr. Yossi, to approve the variances as presented.
Mr. Lichtenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Shaker,
Yes.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Michu,
Yes.
Mr. Urbanski,
Yes.
Mr. Conlon.
Yes. Based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 3?
The petition of David and Patricia E. Lindholm seeking the following variances. 1, for an accessory structure without a primary structure, property located at 5630 Putnam Road, Warren Township, South Bronx,
Well, my name is Patricia Lindholm, and David Lindholm here. We live at 5632 Old Peppermint Road in South Indiana. We have lived there since 1976. We built our home there. There was an old home there that had to be torn down, and so the existing garage was built around a stucco garage, and it's with concrete blocks. So the garage entrance that we go into with our car, it's not really wide, it's just never going into it, and it only holds one car. So on all the weather, we have to have the other car out. We want to build a 2-car garage, which the entrance will be coming from our present driveway into that other garage, which will be facing the driveway in January. And it's a little bit hard for him to go long distance to another garage. It's just in the back, we can do that. We can't connect it to the garage that's there because that's our only access keep our cars safe and make it easier for myself and my husband. We're both retired citizens. We've lived there for 43 years.
Thank you. Board, staff, are there any questions at this time?
Just to make a note, the garage will be connected by driveway to the existing driveway. There will not be two entrances onto the road. So the driveway physically ties in the property.
Understood. I'll open the session to the public. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor or to ask questions, you may approach the podium. Seeing none, if there's anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to this petition, you may approach. Still seeing none, public session is now closed. Any questions, comments, or is there a motion?
Can you just combine the property?
That would be a minor subdivision.
Right.
He wanted to combine the
Combine
property.
properties.
And they'd have to go through a subdivision process.
Oh, okay.
To verify the advertisement was for the legal description for the property that it's going to be on.
You put the address and then the parcel.
I would move that we grant the petition as presented.
I'll
Second.
Motion by Street, seconded by Mr. Logan, to move that we approve the variances as presented.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Urbanski?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Shu?
Yes.
Mr. Lashinsky?
Yes.
And Mr. Brundage?
Yes. Based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue a written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 4, please?
The petition of Richard and Susan Collins seeking the following variance from the minimum required 35 feet front setback to 0 foot, property located at 5953 October Road, Penn Township, Zone R, single family district, County.
Richard Collins, 59530 Old Road, Mishawaka. Seeking to add on to my code. Well, again, when I built the original pole barn, I was unaware that, I live on a corner. I thought my frontage, the way my house faced, but what's on a corner, so there was an additional setback. And I pretty much had builders on the way. And a guy come out and looked at it, the guy from code, and said, I don't see any problem with what you want to do, but you gotta have a variance. So, like I said, the builders were on the way, so at that point, I just moved the pin back 20 feet. And was leaving. Now I want to add that on to the additional storage.
So, I guess what you're saying is, the barn that we see there, when you built it originally, you originally intended it to be 20 feet closer to the road.
Yes.
And you moved it many years ago when you built that.
Well, yeah, I just,
Right.
I moved it back 20 feet.
And you didn't have to get the variance at that time.
Yeah, well.
And now here we are today,
The builders were on the way, and
and you want to build it a little bigger, and you want that 20 feet back. I understand.
20 year was that, so. Was it combined?
I'm gonna say 25 years ago. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
I think
Any
the-
other questions?
Yeah, the real issue at hand is if you look at this photo, it's a compelling photo in that there's clearly the 25 feet between where the pole barn would be built up to and the current edge of the road, but engineering is certainly making the argument, and I'm sure you're aware of it, that they're saying it's potentially dangerous to have something right up against the right of way. We can't speak to what the future of the road would be. It's hilly there. The site is difficult.
I would say from the edge of the road there to where the 20 feet would be added on, there's still 25 feet.
I think that's correct. So what we're really having, I think, to weigh is what the future might hold for that road in a sense. Like I think,
Understand that?
yep,
I understand that. You gotta realize, I live basically at the top of the hill.
Mhm.
It is, my whole property is,
mhm.
what improvement they would try to do to that road, I don't know, but I don't think it, my building wouldn't be in their way.
Well, you'd be putting your building right up onto their property line in a sense.
Well, in that case, like I say, I don't see any future improvements in that road.
When I was out there and I measured it, it's barely even 2 lanes, it's only 16 feet wide. So just to even get a normal 2-lane road would, if this variance is granted, would cause the road to be very close. Especially with all the landscaping, it could be really dangerous. And it's a 20-foot grade change from the intersection to the edge of his property, and so coming uphill was part of my argument. It's just, it could be very dangerous. It blocks the clear side of it.
Any other questions or comments? I'll open the session to the public. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor or ask questions about this petition, you may approach the podium. Seeing none, is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Seeing none, the public session is now closed. I would like to note we did receive an email from Sky Metters, Chief Design Engineer with the Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth. And he said, based on the information that was provided and the discussions, the property owner at the above noted address is requesting a variance for a setback to allow for an extension of an existing pole building along Ireland Road. The variance request is for a setback to be 0 feet along Ireland. Engineering recommends this variance be denied. A setback of 0 feet could cause issues with future maintenance or possible improvements along Ireland Road. With that said, is there any other questions?
I have a question.
Comments?
For the petitioner. Looking at this and looking at the way it's laid out, I guess I'd be more apt if you made an L-shaped building and come off the west side, say I guess to the west side. Anyway, the back side of the barn with an addition, 20-foot addition rather than coming off of the Ireland Road side.
There's no way to add on to the backside of that.
Oh.
It goes out about 5 feet and then just drops. It ain't.
You could have a bank barn.
Well, that's at my property line though, there's no way I can put a driveway in. And my gas line runs right down the driveway. And you can't see it in this picture, but there's a drain right in front of that garage door that drains 75% of my driveway.
Okay, you use Ireland Road or Clover?
It comes in the front and goes out the back.
Now, in looking at this, my tendency would be vote no on it. And to realize that nothing can be done by him if he wants to try to figure some other way out, so. That's my only comment.
All right. Any other comments, or would someone care to make a motion?
Mike, I would agree with you. I don't really have a problem with the addition per se, and you have a beautiful property, but I think that we would just be building in a future problem by putting this at a 0 lot line. So I would move that we deny the petition.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Ms. Shute and seconded by Mr. Adamski to deny the variance.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mr. Adamski,
Yes.
Ms. Shute,
Yes.
and Mr. Conrad.
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance denied and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 5?
The petition of Linda L. Brown seeking the following variances: 1, from the required 20 acres to 3.2 acres, and number 2, from the required 600-foot frontage to 425 feet. Property located at 28295 Inwood Road, Warren Township, Penn State,
My name is Terry Lang from Lang and Associates. Our address is 715 South Michigan Street here in South Bend. I represent the petitioner, Linda Brown. Linda currently owns 80 acres in the southeast corner. You'll see the farm, barn, house, and everything located approximately 3.2 acres there. I've created a rectangle around that area right there. We are proposing to isolate that from the balance of the 77 acres of the variances that we're asking for to accommodate that. Ms. Brown is looking to retain ownership of the agricultural portion of that and continue to have it lease farm the way it's currently being lease farmed right now. And then the home will be put up for sale. She currently lives in Mishawaka and is commuting back and forth there, doing maintenance as necessary for the building that her husband passed away. So the whole idea is to put the house up for sale and continue to farm the rest of it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments at this time? I'll open the session to the public. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor or ask questions about this petition, you may approach the podium. Seeing none, is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Still seeing none, the public session is now closed.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Adamski and seconded by Mr. Young to approve the variances as presented.
Ms. Shute,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Lasinski,
Yes.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Adamski,
Yes.
Mr. Conrad.
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding of facts.
Thank you.
May we have the reading of petition number 6, please?
The petition of PG Enterprises LLC seeking the following variances: 1, from the NMZO minimum required 30% width of front elevation for a portico to 15%. Number 2, from the required alley access to street access. Number 3, to allow parking outside of an enclosed garage in the NMZO. And number 4, from the NMZO maximum allowed 2-stall garage to 3 stalls. Property located at 1019 and 117 North St. Peter Street, Portage Township, from SF2 single family and 2-family district south.
Representing the petitioner, Brian Kelly. Is proposed is to sell parcel for a new home for the county. The plan of the matter is to also, with the opportunity to have that alley runs east-west, St. Peter, also purchased the property south of the alley, right at the yard. The 4 variances proposed curb cut on St. Peter Street will essentially replace the alley curb cut with the system based on the alley petition. And two stalls to 3-stall garages for a couple of vehicles that are parked inside. They have school and college. So we've got, projects, not just, the, front porch, variance, for the, overlay district requires 30%, and we're proposing a reduction down to 15%. I believe that's consistent with the South Dakota coming in January, so then the compliance. And also, proposing 7 outdoor spaces, parking spaces on the valley side, given the fact that the coach and his wife do entertain during football weekends and provide space for friends and family to park without putting them on the street in the neighborhood they're not in. We know that there's some consensus in the district that some informal discussions with these association and we've not formally met with association that would be willing to table the parking portion of the variance, we'll meet with them and then come back next month. This time, I don't have a comment. In terms of any new development, the house and the outdoor art surface, or any art surface, drainage will be handled on site. So there wouldn't be any drainage kicked over to the property as we would do best practices. And then the perimeter fence, landscaping, privacy, photos, use of the backside of rear yards, all that is proposed within the requirements, but for the Dr. Kelly's here today.
So I understand you're informally asking to table the third variance today?
Right, the 7
Okay.
parking spaces.
Right.
Along the alley. One of the other things to note is our proposal was that would be grass pavers, so that it wouldn't be hard surface. Those extend from the hard surface drive at the north end for turnaround and access to the gate to the alley at the northwest corner of the parcel. So other times of the year, it looks like a yard.
Yeah.
Grass is cut, but it provides
Right.
support for vehicles placed there short term.
Understood. I would like to ask legal for clarification here. Can we table one part of a variance, or do we need to table this petition as a whole? Hello?
Sorry. If he wants to, he can request that you.
Yeah, then we have to have 2 public hearings. We have to do this again. I think it would be a decision by the board. Do we want to do this twice?
Well, this is just my opinion, for legal here, but, I mean, to me, it's a package deal. You requested variances under one petition.
Right.
I don't know how you would break one out.
Exactly.
Okay, so, if you're willing to table this one, then.
Then I think we should
can't
table.
really do anything.
I think we
Can't
would,
get approved until they have all the variances you've
right,
approved.
so we would have to table it all.
That
So-
would be my position.
My proposal would be, if we can't do that, we'd like to have the heard. One of the things is the discussion, provide the project proposed, this path, but we wanted to refer to some of the comments from the neighbors going to address their issues with the parking.
Should we have a public hearing? Or do you recommend we decide if we want to table it?
Then we have to do the public hearing again? No. I mean, mhm.
And I know we've seen that letter. Again, all the neighbors were notified
Mhm.
by our letters. So
And they have the opportunity, they may very well be here in the audience
they could
right now.
be in the audience, and they certainly have an opportunity to comment, so.
And I also have 3 letters of support for the project.
Okay, so I think we're gonna proceed with the hearing as a whole. Okay, okay, that's fine. Understood? Are there any questions to begin with from the board?
Yes, regarding the street front, street curb cut, could you describe why that is necessary?
Right, the coach, specifically does come home on game days to rest and have respite for a period of time. And that curb cut will allow him to have access without going through the alley, while entertaining is going on. I know that's maybe not considered hardship for a typical project, but in this case, we've been, my other point is placing the alley that is curb cut, vacating that and then replacing a narrower 10-foot wide drive. Some earlier plans, we were retaining the alley, including that as the drive, but in the planning, the intent was to flip it so that the drive wouldn't fall in the south area, the other south layout standpoint, that could be a little better layout. And we also provide access then from the alley, but noting that this time of the year, the alley
Well, with due respect to the coach, I appreciate his need for respite, but I still don't see the hardship here that is created by denying that curb cut. That's my opinion. Questions?
Even with the replacement, I mean, one's being vacated and a smaller is put
Well,
in, so it's still gonna be.
the
one curb cut.
opportunity existed, that curb cut was there, and he's chose to have it vacated, so, you know.
The difference is that curb cut in the alley, that's there for public use.
Right. This is a private driveway.
Private use and characteristic of suburban form. It still has two access points going in the character to follow traditional urban form.
Can you flip that, President? Don't you have one a little bit bigger? Thank you.
The new driveway matches the one across the street. That was pointed out was put in illegally,
Would you like to comment on that?
and why it's still there.
Well,
It's not your problem.
we weren't aware of this until, I got this variance request. I don't control the street, it's wrong violation. But, yeah, I'm working with engineering now, it was brought to this board in 2014. That variance was denied, sometime between 2015 and 2017, just looking at aerials it was put in. So I'm currently investigating that with engineering. They didn't even pull it.
It got turned down here and they did it anyway.
I guess my only additional question right now is regarding the portico. We don't have any imagery of what has been designed, so I find it makes it difficult to make a decision just based on the percentage. So I don't know if you can just describe it if you don't have an image available.
Yeah, instead of a wraparound porch, or a more traditional porch like let's see where you have smooth in front of chairs, this one's more smooth. And again, I bring a point that it's related to the architectural style of the house. That's something that I don't know if I building whether hold to that or if that could be shared with you now.
I think all we're discussing is the percentage, you know, basically how wide it is on the facade. And I don't know all the background as to how 30% was come up, and I actually don't know of any proposed changes, but that doesn't mean they're not in the works. How wide is the front facade?
Just under 60 feet wide. Narrower elevation of the house. And
So to meet the requirement, you would have to have a 15 to 20 foot wide portico.
Yes, and I believe that's what we're showing that they.
Well, you're showing a portico that would meet 15%, which is closer to about 10 feet wide. To me, that makes sense. I think this facade is probably wider than maybe what was imagined. I would like to see that, but I don't know if that's something that can be presented or not. And I don't know if anyone else on this board has more knowledge on where that percentage is coming from. I mean, just from the plan, it's hard to tell what the style of the home is.
We had preliminary discussions with Andrew Smith, the city, and the new ordinance, and at a meeting that they held roughly a month ago, I brought this up because we had this project and some other projects, and we're getting into sometimes we go with the more understated course instead. That was my understanding.
Okay.
The delay for item 3, is that partially because of Northeast Neighborhood's recommendation for that?
Was to give the neighbors an opportunity to meet with us to express their concerns, but we have to make the adjustments on that. I would request whether I could amend the variance to exclude that, and if then the client so chose that we could refile to add that part, and have a later date on the separate file.
Okay, so they can withdraw the third item.
Well, if you withdraw that, you have to wait for 3 months. Unless the board would suspend that.
I think that's a reasonable request.
Okay. So if at such time they still want to pursue it, they just come back with a separate variance at that time.
If I could ask for the client to verify.
Sure.
Do you see on the map? It's showing that.
Okay. Do we need a motion?
You didn't have a public,
No.
At this point, he's requested that it be amended. I don't think we need to have a.
We don't need a
for
motion?
that.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions at this time? I'll open the session to the public. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor of or to ask questions about this petition, you may approach. Please approach. May we have your name and address, please?
I'll give it to you. My name is Patrick Dore, D-O-R-E. Full name is Thomas Patrick Dore Jr. I am the adjoining landowner to this particular property. I am also a professor of law at the University of Notre Dame, and I am a professor of real estate at the New Real Estate Institute.
Can we have your address?
Sure.
Thank you.
3152 Beck Hall of Law.
Okay.
I live at 1025 North Nile presently because the property behind Coach Kelly's property has no house on it right now. I am standing up to speak in favor of it. I have been surprised by the notice that was sent around by the planning department last week, and I have taken an extensive amount of time to evaluate what effect it will have on my immediate contiguous property. I have 113 feet of street frontage on St. Louis versus the 136 feet proposed in Kelly Ave. I want to make it clear I'm here in support of the process. I've communicated with the gentleman behind me that the map did not show the alley originally filed. He corrected that to show the alley that was proposed to be vacated. The one thing I would note is I wasn't informed that the Board of Public Works was going to hear about this is a good project for the neighborhood. I'm happy to have him as a neighbor. He needs most of the things that he is asking for. In fact, the parking on the rear, which would be immediately contiguous to the alley, will be hidden by virtue of the privacy fence he's asked for, which I understand permitted by the regulations. Northeast government. Could be wrong. I've been at Notre Dame teaching at the law school and the New Real Estate Institute for my third year. I've never appeared before any kind of public hearing before. I do have 2 views over there. I want to address some of the things that you have said. I think it's a design issue that they've oriented it with the requirement of the change of the alley cut out to the street. That they've actually shortened the size of it. I think you noted that correctly. That's a design issue. I don't think that really, if they are successful in vacating the alley, then we should probably be indifferent to where the alley, the exit comes out, because the alley's closed on the western side of this block. The owner prior to me closed it in late 16. The city approved it. So with this closing of the alley, it will close the alley all the way from St. Peter to St. Peter. So you're not going to have a problem. You only have one driveway in that location. You have one right now. You have an apron that you would still have.
Excuse me, you have 1 more minute.
Thank you very much. I am happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chair, that you would have.
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else to speak in favor or ask questions?
Hi, my name is Beth Ainsley. I'm at 1012 Peter Street. I'm from the south of the project, and I would like to see when trying the variances, the first one, I could in favor of the project. Looking at right and looking at the possibilities in the neighborhood, and I in favor of this variance. Number 2 is regarding the required area. That's as you see in the aerial, there are several homes along St. Peter, looking at the 1,000 lots, 900 lots that is not impacted as far as regarding back there. Street access, or you know what is that. As far as number 3, I spoke with Greg yesterday, and I am on the Monday. We appreciate that, Greg. Especially for the house of the property, that questions looking at regard to parking back in state. I hope that it is grass paper as opposed to area that can cause water runoff that is possible. But I do appreciate that. And last was
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor or to ask questions?
Good afternoon, Angela Smith from the Office of the Investment Enforcement Building. Not to speak in favor, it's more of a statement or clarification. Again, I wasn't sure which portion this should go in. Regarding the 30% for the under the U1 designation, the proposed ordinance, there will be some parameters that may not meet the 30%. But in the northeast neighborhood zoning overlay, those provisions will not change. So the 30% for portico and 50% for courtyard proposed to remain in the same. Just to clarify that.
Thank you.
Samuel Sanchez, 706 St. Vincent Street. I'm in favor of this project. I want to speak to you on behalf of the issue with the access from the St. Peter Street. Any way you can get people parking on their property versus off the street is a good thing. Because on game day, this whole area is completely parked into anything. Also, there used to be a cross alley in between where part of it's Kelly Alley, part of it is Pat Doors Alley. Pat Doors Alley is now, that's not an alley anymore, so we only have one north-south alley, and that makes access pretty difficult. It's not a good alley. Okay, so, and also, getting people off the street for this safety issue in terms of parking, because I live on northwest corner, and on St. Louis Street, people park on that street quite often. There are break-ins to cars all the time. So that's, I'm really in favor of all the things that I do.
Thank you.
Rudy Reyes, 1014 North St. Peter Street, directly across from the proposed project, at least the yard of the proposed project. Excited by the development as a whole. One question would be about the 24-inch brick masonry wall. Does that extend all the way across the front?
Excuse me, you need to address us. We will get you a response from him. We need to record this and we can't hear your conversation. So we'll get an answer.
Masonry wall contiguous across the front.
Okay.
And is all of the fencing proposed both the 3-foot and the 5-foot solid or transparent?
We'll find out.
Other than, thank you. All right, I know your process. You think I know having the time we have to show up here. The other items are the portico. It sounds like there's provision in the overlay district to maintain the sort of presence in the neighborhood, just encourage the board to make sure that that is maintained. As far as the parking, I agree with the previous speaker. Better to get it off the street. We have enough problems as it is in that neighborhood with the building you approved at Howard and St. Peter. So we need as many people off the street as possible. And then finally, having a 3-car garage myself, all I understood was it's possible as long as you change can't go straight across. What I thought was the issue, but whatever the case might be, again, more people off the street, better off the drive. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor or to ask questions about this petition? Seeing none, is there anyone now wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Further seeing none, the public session is now closed. Could you respond to some of those questions that we couldn't quite hear? That's okay, thanks.
So in terms of the 24-inch walls along the sidewalk, the intent was to emphasize where the sidewalk is roughly 24 to 30 inches in and 36 to 48 inches wide along the sidewalk. In terms of the Smith is indicated, I think that was my misunderstanding. People also put the ACOs consideration reduction in that case.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Questions or comments? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to clarify a few things. You said by one of the off-street parking outside wasn't going to be part of the ordinance. The draft still shows that that variance would still need to be required. And I'd like to clarify something again about number 2. We're not denying him access to off-street parking. He has 2 access points on the alley.
Right.
Research the city code, and budding property owners are actually required to maintain that. So we're giving him the option to still do off-street parking.
The alley is accessible.
One other question that I'd like to ask is, well, board or staff, it's not, I understand it is possible to get a license part of that meeting. That's fine. This proposal is to provide for the member cars, cars. And there are other.
I'm familiar with that requirement. It sounds like you just want a blanket opportunity to park 365 days a year. I have no comment about the ordinance on lawn parking. It is what it is.
I'd like to make a comment, if I may, is I wish we would have waited till after the public presentation to have them decide whether they want to table item 3 or not table item 3. Due to the fact that there's no one up here, neighbors around it that had any opposition to it, if that can be reversed and let them include it, I think it would be wise for us and for the petitioner.
I wasn't watching the audience. I don't know if anybody stepped out and left.
Well, I did, and
Did
I
you?
didn't see anybody. Everybody
Right.
seemed very positive that came up and spoke, sir.
But I think that's fine, and I think it's respectful of the Northeast Neighborhood Council's letter and request and discussion with the client. I think it's okay to proceed. My only, the only variance that I was still concerned with is the front street curb cut access. And I guess I would say both a positive and a negative thing. The positive being that I think it's very tastefully suggested. It's only 10 feet wide. It clearly, I think, is going to look very nice. Did you talk about the fencing, the question that was raised about
Yes,
the
you did.
wall? That 24-inch masonry garden wall?
But in terms of the fencing perimeter, it would be designed to ordinance allow. It would be intended to be ordinance. But if it allows decorative fencing, that may be something designed from the
It meets the ordinance. It says 5 foot decorative and then has 3 foot decorative.
So I do think that the kind of the look of it, the sense of kind of a suburban style driveway is not the appearance that is being done here. If we're going to have a curb cut from the street, I do think this is kind of minimizes the impact of that. However, the negative side of that is that it's the argument that's being made for it is game days, and that's such a difficult argument to make because we're basically asking for, in a sense, like 14 hours a year. Somebody needs to come and access their home in this particular spot, and I don't know if there are other arguments to be made from it, or if the alley is that difficult. I know that that could be a hard thing to. No homeowner wants to take on the challenge of having to pave the entire alley so that they have great access to their house. This is a mid-block property, and so they have kind of the farthest alley reach to get there. So I have to say I'm pretty undecided on how I feel about that because I can see a desirability of having that access from the street as far as ease of use, and all of that's outside of the parking in the back. Just kind of ignoring that at the moment since it's been amended to be removed. I think the garage is tastefully done and is off the street. Having 3 cars is no problem. So I'm curious to know their thoughts, and I'm kind of outside of the portico too. I think that's fine.
The alley issue and the driveway issue, I don't have a problem with the driveway issue. You brought up a good point. It's mid-block. And those alleys, that alley can't be more than 10 or 15. It can't
14.
be less, 14 foot wide. So it can't support two-way traffic. And with that much traffic coming in the mid-block, and as we know in South Bend, the city does not plow and clean alleys. it is up to the property owners to maintain that, and that means in the wintertime and all that other stuff, it'd be impossible to have good access in the middle of the block with the number of traffic. I don't see an issue with it. I think the issue was created when they vacated the alleys, which we know is for the development of the lot. The mid-block alley served a purpose, and that was to provide dual access and more access and stuff, and that's gone. So I don't think the driveway's a real issue at this point. I would support that.
Are there any other questions or comments? Does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we send this with a favorable recommendation, with, what was it, item 3 being withdrawn?
A second.
There's a motion by Mr. Gorzinski and seconded by Ms. Shu to approve the variances as amended.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Urbanski?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Shu?
Yes.
Mr. Lazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Kremlin?
Before I vote, I just want to clarify, is number 3 being voted on today, yes or no?
No.
No. Okay, it's still off the table. Okay, then yes. So, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds 3 of the 4 variances granted and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 7, please?
The petition of Imaginary Enterprises Incorporation seeking the following variances. 1, from the required landscape no along the south property line to not. Property located at 3722 Foundation Court, Union Township, in Light Industrial District, South Bend.
Good afternoon, my name is Chris Moore, I'm in construction, 2146. I'm representing Imagineering today on the issue of the landscaping variance. So we've actually been working on projects at Imagineering for about the last year. As you can see on the screen, south property line, there's a retention swale that extends the entire length of the property line. That retention basin is preventing the owner from installing the trees that are required on that south property line. For that reason, the owner is requesting to have that variance made to not install it.
I've got a question. What's the hardship? We can't get to the property line to put those trees in? Trees grow on hills.
So, yeah, so the banks of the retention basin are steep enough that a landscaper that was involved recommended that it wouldn't be a good place.
So it's just inconvenient.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Sorry.
It's inconvenient in the sense that maintaining those trees and keeping them presentable and good health would be difficult. My understanding.
Just because they're hard to get to,
Correct, and being planted on that bank.
I don't know. I think we can plant trees on the side of a hill, folks. So I don't understand this.
Opinions.
Okay, that's my opinion. Other questions or comments?
Yeah, normally, we would oppose landscaping variances, but this is in line with the new ordinance. When industrial properties abut each other, they don't require this, so we have no comment on this variance request.
This is a pending ordinance change
This will be part of the new ordinance.
in January. Okay. Any other questions?
Are you proposing any landscaping between the parking lot and the retention pond?
Between the south parking lot and
Correct.
the retention pond.
Yeah.
So there is no space between the north
I think that's riprap.
Oh, okay. I see. The symbols on the drawing are riprap or stone. Okay. Okay.
I'll open the session to the public. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor or ask questions about this petition? Seeing none, is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Still seeing none, the public session is now closed. Questions, comments, or is there a motion?
I'd move that we grant the petition as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Shute, supported by Mr. Lee, to approve the variance for design.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Lasinski?
Yes.
Mr. Umansky?
Yes.
Ms. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Crumler?
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 8, please?
The petition of Jason P. Fisher seeking the following variance from the minimum required 30-foot setback to 10 feet, property located at 14751 Pierce Road, Madison Township, Zone A, Agricultural District.
Good afternoon, my name is Rebecca Fisher. My address for my office is 525 Colfax Avenue, 101, South Bend, Indiana, 42617. I'm here today on behalf of my son, Jason Fisher, the landowner. He is a full-time firefighter, he's on duty today. I also have my daughter-in-law, Keisha, here. The project is basically, they would like to add about a 30 by 50 pole barn at the rear of the property. They would like to come back from the driveway into that to park vehicles. And if they have to move it over 30 feet, it will be really not in line with the front driveway. So they're asking just for a variance from the 30-foot setback to the 10-foot setback, so that they can put the pole barn in that kind of back corner of the property.
Very well. Are there any questions or comments at this time?
The main practical difficulty then is the driveway itself and trying to align with that access and maximize the use of the rear of the yard.
Is the location of the well or the septic system encumbered?
Located on the far side, well, the septic is on the far left side, the well is in the front of the house. So they're nowhere near the driveway or the pool.
What are the two structures in between?
There is a chicken coop that is, in back, and then the left of that is just another outbuilding. Small, homemade outbuilding. They were there when they purchased the property.
Will that stay if they get the full barn built up?
Any other questions? I'll open the session to the public. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor or ask questions, you may approach the podium. Seeing none, is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, the public session is now closed. I do want to note we did receive correspondence from a woman named Rose Reed at 14649 Pierce Road, very much in opposition to this project. So we did receive one letter of opposition. I'm sorry, it was 14649 Pierce Road, woman named Rose Reed, opposing it. Excuse me, I'm sorry, the public session is now closed. Is she a presenter with you?
That's her daughter. That's the owner.
No, I'm sorry. I've read this and we're done.
Is she the property owner? Her and her husband? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, we can't take questions from the gallery. Questions? Board, staff, comments?
Make a motion to accept the vote. So as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Lansky, seconded by Mr. Young, to approve the variance for design.
Ms. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Lasinski?
No.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Yes.
and Mr. Crumlush.
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 9?
The petition of Kevin Key and Kathleen Hopwood, seeking the following variance from the NMZ required 5-foot decorative fence for 6-foot privacy fence properly located at 814 North Hill Street, Cornish Township, zone SF2 single family and two-family district, South Bend.
Just that we would humbly, my name is Kevin Patrick Coughlin, 814 North Hill Street, South Bend, my wife Kathleen Coughlin here. Just a humble request for privacy fence. I believe it would be minimal visually, being that it's in the middle of the block, 8, 9 feet either side. Reason being, we'd like it safety. We have a 1 and a 2-year-old that we'd like to, of course, be in the backyard with. There has been the occasional stray dog that's wandered back there. There is some wildlife. I don't know how much. There's a rather large woodchuck that is present, but besides that, just also privacy and practicality. Privacy for obvious reasons. Practicality being that we would actually have to pay more to have it reduced to 5 feet there at a small one. But really, just the safety of our children.
Very well. Are there any questions or comments? Staff?
I have a question to staff, because I know that this would be a fence that would be allowed anywhere else in the city, and so this is the overlay district creating this issue. Could you have any historical knowledge as to why the overlay might have been opposed to this type of fence?
Short answer is no.
Okay.
Obviously, the overlay district was at the instigation of the neighborhood a long time ago, 2006, 7, somewhere in there. So they decided that they wanted to allow fences, but they wanted a certain feel and look, and not create, I suppose, stockade, solid fences around everybody's property. Especially, again, go back to a neighborhood which has very narrow lots, very small lots, and if everybody did privacy fences, they thought that would not contribute to the neighborhood feel of that area. So it's kind of vague in my memory of some of the discussions. I think at that time you could still buy 5-foot. I know you can't buy 5. It's rare to get a 5-foot fence now.
Right.
Yeah.
So that doesn't cover the privacy versus the solid. That's the best answer I can give you for that.
No, I appreciate the attempt. These are things that are put in place, and we weren't there when they were created. And so I'm trying to interpret what might be driving those thoughts. We get lots of requests for the 5-foot to 6-foot, for the reason that you just stated, is that a 5-foot fence would actually be a pretty custom fence.
Just to add, we do make sure that the neighborhood knows about these variances, so they definitely have an opportunity to comment either to us before the meeting or to show up. So thinking about the past fences, I don't think they really commented much.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll open the session to the public. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor or to ask questions about this petition, you may approach. Seeing none, is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Seeing none, the public session is now closed. Any further questions or comments?
I'd move that we grant the petition as requested.
Motion by Ms. Shute and seconded by Mr. Young to approve the variances.
Mr. Ransky,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Lashinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Shute,
Yes.
Mr. Crumlush.
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 10, please?
The petition of Sandra Douglas and David and Janine Weidman seeking the following variance from the minimum required 25-foot setback from pavement edge for a sign to 19 feet. Property located at 1802 on Farmington Hills Drive and 1806 Luther Drive, Clay Township, zone R, single family home.
I am Heather Overmeyer, I live at 109-3 Farmington Hills, and a member of the homeowners association where I represent Sandra and. We are looking to replace our existing neighborhood signs in the north and the south entrance, and in doing so, we also like to upgrade the signs. The sign is currently made out of wood and a little dilapidated. And our increase would allow for us to, well, we're proposing a stone entrance. In order to do so, there's a fire hydrant and utility lines in our way, so we would need to come forward about 5 feet, 5 to 6 feet, for requesting variance from 25 foot setback to a 19 foot setback.
Very well. Thank you. Any questions or comments at this time from the board or the staff?
Are these signs within the right of way?
They're close, but not quite.
Great.
Then I'll open the session to the public. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor or to ask questions about this petition?
Good afternoon, Angela Smith from 18483 Russell's Drive. I didn't actually know this was on here, but I get an opportunity to speak as a neighbor for a change. So I actually live in the neighborhood. Have looked at this when they first started to apply for a permit, and we were able to identify the fact that they weren't able to meet the setback. All of the electrical and everything is already there. There's actually wells for the irrigation system and the landscaping buffers as well that interfere with moving the sign. So we did investigate ways in the neighborhood to move the sign, and really there isn't an opportunity to do so. It's simply to replace the sign from the location. We couldn't even figure out how they got a wrong location to start with, but that's not uncommon. I don't think there's really subdivisions in the sign that come up. So I'm here to speak in favor and hope you'll approve the request.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor or ask questions? Seeing none, is there anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Still seeing none, the public session is now closed. Questions, comments, or is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant the variance as requested.
Second.
Mr. Mansky?
Yes.
Mr. Shaker?
Yes.
Mr. Lasinski?
Yes.
Ms. Shu?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Crumlin?
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding of facts. May we have the reading of petition number 11, please?
The petition of Brahman Inc. has seeking the following variance from the NMZ required 5-foot decorative notch to a 6-foot privacy fence. Property located at 426 North Arthur Street, Township, on single family and two-family residential.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Mill. I live with Brahma Hushy for the last 2 weeks. We have a couple of dogs, and we've also had some security concerns within the area. My house is literally 30 to 35 feet away from the shooting that took place on August 2nd. Our request is to get a privacy fence. The initial request was 5 feet until we saw that it was a minimum or maximum of initially 6 feet. We saw it was maximum of 5 feet. Once we realized that, we were hoping that because it is a more difficult passed to try to find custom fencing. We were trying to put in the 6-foot fence. So between our dogs and the issues we've had in the local area, we are respectfully requesting to have permission to have fire.
Understood. Questions or comments? I'll open the session to the public. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor or ask questions of this petition? Seeing none, is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Seeing none, the public session is now closed. Any further questions, comments, or is there a motion?
We kind of already made our discussion about this in the previous variance, and I would move that
I
we
don't know.
grant this petition.
No, I didn't.
Second.
Motion by Chute and second by
Mr. Vansky,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Mr. Lichtenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Shute,
Yes.
and Mr. Conlon.
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals, after careful consideration, finds this variance granted and will issue written finding facts. Now we're going to have the reading of petition number 2, which we move to the end of the meeting.
Petitioner present?
Is the petitioner present for number 2? Going once, going twice, not here. What's the procedure here? Courtesy table it till next time, or? Okay. We need a motion? We need a motion to table this till the next meeting. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It's been moved. Everybody give it back. I don't know, do we have some other paperwork today? I signed a bunch of papers.
There's some August finding of facts in front of us, it looks like.
That's right, I've already signed it, so.
Finding of fact.
Yes. Can I have a motion?
I move that we approve the August findings of fact.
All in favor? Aye. Any news for us? We're done.
Sure.
You sure? It's only 3 o'clock.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. We're done. Okay.
That's a good thing.
Uh-oh.
You've been tabled till next month.
Yeah.
Our meeting is over.
They just adjourned.
We just adjourned.
I couldn't recognize it, sorry, my apologies.
See you next month.
See the mine?
Number 2.
I probably should have said mine.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the room when I said it. He
He
should
was
have
out
been.
he was out in the hallway.
Yeah,
on
he should
the
have been
phone.
sitting here. That's.
No, I didn't even see him. I saw somebody out there pacing, but I.
Tough crap.
Well, we all have our time.
They got you working in. Yeah, you got some hairs.
You're on a tight ship. Never cross you, that's for sure.
That's right.
I'm trying to cut the time of these things down. I'm looking at my record of,
I want you to extend it so I don't have to go back to work.
And now we've been presented about Brian Kelly's nap.
Yeah, really. So now we know we gotta have a driveway to take a nap. That's too much. Too much. I wanted him to say they're gonna bring home a national champion trophy if he gets this driveway, but I think that would have gotten me in more trouble.
Yeah.
Asking tit for tat.
I don't know why we need to deal with the parking anyway. I mean, if it's his kids or something, it's.
They'll park on the lawn anyway.
Yeah, what the heck, in the yard, yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Yes, when it came through the mail today, I was like, are you serious?
doesn't pay his contractor.
I said,
And
I
he's broke into
I
my house.
didn't read it, okay? I just said they were opposed.
Why
You
did you
should
just
come in
come
when
in
I
the
find
house?
out
Like, what
what
do we
you
have to
are.
do with that?
I just need to make it right.
Did you want me to read it and just?
I have to, pretty much.